Any guess on the scoreboard?
I guess.
Starting lineup. Leading off, first baseman, number 7, Adam Goodman. And second, the center fielder, number 1, Tom Petelle. And third, and pitching, number 19, Maggie Mitchell. And fourth, the left fielder, number 10, Pat. And fifth, the catcher, number 20, Wes Andrews. And sixth, the second baseman, number 4, Mancuso. And seventh, the third baseman, number 12, Perkins. And eighth, the right fielder, number 8, Kemp. And ninth, the shortstop, number 3, Corzine. Raider of the team, number 15, Cleland. Number 18, Todd Laroach. Number 11, Leonard. Number 14, Bradley-Bourbonnais. Number 9, Wolf. Weichbordt. Russ, Perkins. Allstars for Bradley-Bourbonnais American. The Allstars and the Kankakee Jaycees. Take it up. Pitcher number.
This is a double elimination tournament in District 18, as will be the section and state tournaments, and this year the Central Regional as well. What that means as far as double elimination is that tonight could be the championship game. Then again, we might have to come back again tomorrow night and do it all over again. The situation is this. The Kankakee Jaycees remain the only undefeated team in this tournament. Should they win tonight, they win the championship. The Jaycees defeated Watseka 17-0, Limestone 6-5. They beat Bradley-Bourbonnais American 2-0 and got to where they are by that route. Bradley-Bourbonnais American beat Aroma Park 12-2. They beat the Kankakee Lions 4-3, suffered that 2-0 loss to the Jaycees. Their only game in the losers bracket, they beat Bradley-Bourbonnais National League 16-2 on Saturday night, and that sets up tonight's matchup.
Well, there is some feeling, Jim, that if Bradley-Bourbonnais American can get by one James Jackson, it'll be tough to get by Alan Smith, who undoubtedly will pitch for the Jaycees tomorrow evening. And I think they have a little bit more confidence against James Jackson than they would Alan Smith. Of course, that can change in a hurry. Interesting to note, both teams wanted to be the visitors in this one.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I have heard that Coach Kathy Wade of the Jaycees was kind of had that thrust upon her in the first game, and since the team was winning, they wanted to be visitors and continue that kind of a superstition. I even heard, in fact, that she wanted the water jug put in the same spot in the dugout throughout the tournament as well. Much like, what is it, Torborg keeps wearing the same jacket when the White Sox are winning. But Bradley-Bourbonnais has a tradition of taking the visiting team if they win the coin flip, which is, by the way they determine this matter in this tournament. And Bradley-Bourbonnais likes to jump out in front in the first inning. They have the confidence that their offense will get going, and they won the honors tonight.
If you will, let's look at the defense for the Jaycees. They'll go with Matt Peters at third, Jim Martell at shortstop, Sean Sullivan at second, and Riddell Jones at first base. James Jackson on the hill, Alan Smith behind the plate. Your Jaycees outfield from left to right, Cameron Butler, Omar Grant, and Tom Kilbride. Adam Goodman will lead things off for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, followed by Brian Petelle and Maggie Mitchell. Those are your top three hitters, and this ball game's underway. James Jackson with the first delivery to the plate. Down in the dirt, a ball, and it's 1-0. Rest of that lineup will have Pat Daulphin batting fourth, Wes Andrews hitting fifth, and Matt Mancuso hitting in the number 6 spot. Eric Perkins, Greg Kemp, and Joel Corzine round out the top 9 in the batting order. This pitch inside, a ball, and it's quickly 2-0.
Bradley-Bourbonnais' coaches have provided us with some stats, and Adam Goodman batting at a 500 clip in this tournament, 6 for 12.
2-0 delivery from James Jackson. Inside, ball 3.
I point out the fact, sorry Gary, that we received this from Bradley-Bourbonnais' team, so you don't think we're sliding the Jaycees when we don't have as many stats for them. We don't have them compiled for all teams, and this was just provided to us.
Adam Goodman ahead of the count, 3-0. Jackson needs a strike in the worst way here to the leadoff hitter in the top of the first inning. And this one way upstairs, not even tempting. And Adam Goodman, doing his job as a leadoff hitter, draws a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Brian Petelle. Petelle playing center field for Bradley-Bourbonnais American. Corners are in on the grass. That's Matt Peters at third and Riddell Jones at first. Well, James Jackson yet to throw a strike in this ball game. And here's a bunt out in front of the plate. Fielded by Jackson. He goes to first, not in time. All hands safe. Brian Petelle hustling it down the line, and James Jackson did not get rid of the ball in time.
Well, what cost Jackson was he looked to second, and that cost him the instant. Plus, he threw it a little wide of the bag and pulled the man off of first base. And one of the Bradley-Bourbonnais people told me before the game they were going to test the Jaycees. They did not think they handled the bunt that well.
Here's Maggie Mitchell with 2 hands on with nobody out. She squares the bunt. She puts it back, right back to the mound, and an easy out at first base this time, as James Jackson throws over the first and gets the out 1-3. But both runners advance, with Goodman going to third and Petelle going to second. So a leadoff walk, back-to-back sacrifices, one of which went for an infield hit. And all of a sudden, here's cleanup hitter Pat Daulphin. And a ball thrown to him up high. Daulphin having a disappointing series, being in the cleanup spot, hitting .222, but is capable of connecting and sending the ball a long way. This pitch upstairs, 2-0.
Gary, Adam Goodman, who batted first, was batting ninth. They flip-flopped him and Joel Corzine the last game, and Goodman got on 2 of the first 3 times he batted. And in this tournament, he is hitting .500, as we said, has an on-base percentage of .538.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. A curveball swung on and hit the short. Right there is Martell. The throw on the first in time. The runner scoring. Goodman's in there. Adam Goodman in ahead of the throw by Riddell Jones, who took the throw from shortstop for the out at first. Then Jones tried to throw home to Alan Smith to cut down Adam Goodman, who was coming in from third base, but the throw not in time. And moving on over to third is Brian Petelle. So it's 1-0. We're in the top of the first inning. 2 are out. And here's Wes Andrews, hitting right at .500, 6 of 12 in tournament play. Swing and a miss on a letter-high fastball. Well, Jim points out on the stats here, 8 RBIs, and who's the closest person to him? Mancuso and Mitchell with 4 apiece. Runner at third, and the 0-1 pitch to Andrews. Swing and a miss. Well, Bradley-Bourbonnais American wanted to establish themselves offensively, and indeed they have, with 1 run on the board. They have yet to hit the ball out of the infield. And the 0-2 pitch. Down low, a ball, 1-2. Walk by Goodman. An infield hit by Brian Petelle. Maggie Mitchell with a sacrifice bunt. And Pat Daulphin, an RBI ground out to shortstop. That's the scoring so far, 1-0. This one hit well into left field. It'll drop. Cut off by center fielder Omar Grant. He turns and throws the second, but sliding in with a double is Wes Andrews. And another run comes homeward for Bradley-Bourbonnais American. Andrews reached out and slapped that one to left center, and it fell between Cameron Butler and Omar Grant. And it's 2-0.
Now remember, the Jaycees, when they played Bradley-Bourbonnais American the first time, scored 2 runs in the top of the first as well. That was all they got, as Maggie Mitchell held them shut out the Jaycees the rest of the way. So runs are pretty important. Of course, this being a championship game, that's pretty obvious, but the last time these two teams met, it was very low scoring.
Here's Pat Mancuso when he takes the first pitch outside. Pat playing second base in this ball game, as he has throughout the tournament. 2-0, Bradley-Bourbonnais American here in the top half of the first. This pitch down low, below the knees. It's 2-0. The runner out at second base, Wes Andrews, who just picked up the RBI double. Both Daulphin and Andrews have knocked in a run apiece here in the top of the first inning. There are 2 outs. 2-0 pitch. Mancuso lets it go high, and it's 3-0. Second runner, or second player in this inning that Jaycees pitcher James Jackson has gone 3-0 to. The last one was a leadoff hitter, Adam Goodman, who scored the first run of the game. And a 3-0 pitch. Right down Main Street for a strike. It's 3-1.
Be interesting to see if he's taking. Mancuso has a pretty good bat, but Perkins behind him does as well. You'd like to see another man on for Perkins batting.
And the delivery. Swing and a miss. Same spot, same location, same result.
Hard to lay off that pitch. It was right there.
3-2. 2 are out. Top of the first inning, 2 runs across. BB American at the plate in person of Mancuso, and this one down low, and Mancuso draws a 2-out walk. The second given up in the inning by James Jackson, and that's going to bring plateward Eric Perkins. Perkins stood a dish for the first time in this one.
Perkins batting .385, 5 for 13.
And the first pitch from Jackson. Swing and a miss, or rather a swing and a hit down the line, but foul. Oh, I got used to saying a swing and a miss, and that was by no means a miss.
Perkins was the winning pitcher against the Kankakee Lions in their 4-3 win. He had 10 strikeouts, walked only 4, and scattered 4 hits. He was also the winning pitcher against Bradley National, allowing only 2 runs on 3 hits, had 6 strikeouts, and walked only 2 batters. Also in Bradley-Bourbonnais National's loss to the Americans, Perkins was 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, a single, 2 RBIs.
Jackson misses upstairs, 1-1 the count. Perkins, the 7th man to hit here for Bradley-Bourbonnais American. Greg Kemp waiting on deck. This pitch just misses down low, a curveball, 2-1.
We talked about the fact that Bradley-Bourbonnais National likes, or American likes to be the visiting team, and this is why. To get out on top early.
Runner at first, the runner at second, 2 outs, and the 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled to the screen. 2-2.
On the other hand, it's still a hit or 2 away from being a disastrous inning for the Kankakee Jaycees. They've not played perfect defensively, but they have not tossed the ball around a lot either. So it's not like they're falling apart.
And the pitch down low in the dirt, dug out nicely by Alan Smith, and the count goes full. Well, Eric Perkins is working a full count. Mancuso, he just drew a 2-out walk to keep the inning alive. Let's see what Perkins can do here. Here's the pitch. Chopped foul at the plate. Perkins stays alive. Perkins with a runner in scoring position out at second base, and that, of course, is Wes Andrews, who had the RBI double moments ago. The 3-2 delivery from Jackson, inside and high, and the bases are loaded. Greg Kemp, he'll step homeward with the sacks jammed. And time is called for the Jaycees as they find themselves in a precarious situation here in the top of the first inning. 2 runs already across the plate. Runners occupying first, second, and third with 2 out.
Jaycees, with the advantage, of course, of not having a loss yet in this tournament, have the luxury of playing a little bit, well, maybe less conservatively, I guess is the way to put it, looking forward to tomorrow night, because this is not a do-or-die night for them. Whereas in the same situation for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, they might be pulling the pitcher right now because they cannot lose tonight.
Well, James Jackson has pitched himself into a peck of trouble here in the top of the first inning. And it could be more, and he could get off with only 2 runs having been surrendered. Here's a pitch to the plate, down low. Good job by Alan Smith to keep that ball in front of him. Greg Kemp, he's the man with the bases loaded. Now time is called by the base umpire. Kemp 4 for 10 in tournament play and 400 average. He's knocked in only 1. He could change that in a hurry. Charging at first is Jones, squaring as if he's going to bunt. Now drawing back is Kemp, and the count goes 2-0 as this pitch misses down low and inside.
I think Kankakee's Jaycees might be a little bit too concerned about the bunt. I think he's just kind of trying to distract the pitcher, holding the bat out there.
Jackson with the 2-0 pitch. Called strike, and it appeared from here to be a high strike at that. 2-1. Greg Kemp awaits the pitch. Here it is, a swing and a miss on a high fastball, and the count evens at 2-2. Well, if that indeed that 2-0 pitch was high that they called a strike, that all that did was entice Kemp to go after this high one. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. The bases loaded, and the pitch. This one fouled away.
Thank you.
Well, if the Bradley-Bourbonnais American squad wins tonight, we will be back here again tomorrow night. And either way, we will follow whichever team to the Section 5 tournament in Ottawa. It gets underway on Saturday.
Up high, the pitch goes, and the count goes full. Greg Kemp, the third man that James Jackson has gone to a full count with. Andrews is off the third. Mancuso is at second, and Perkins at first. The 3-2 2-out pitch, down low, and a run has been walked in. The third one of the inning. Give an RBI, only the second of the tournament, to Greg Kemp. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Joel Corzine. Bases remain loaded. It's now 3-0. We've had 1 ball hit out of the infield, I believe. That was Wes Andrews' RBI double. This pitch upstairs. 1-0.
Yeah, the rest have been 4 walks and 2 bunts.
Jackson needing a strike in the worst way. There he got it on a curveball. Called strike across that inside corner. 1-1 the count. Well, Adam Goodman led the inning off with a walk, and it's been all downhill for the Jaycees from there on. Here's another called strike. And finally, James Jackson ahead of the count, 1-2. Meanwhile, the Bradley-Bourbonnais American team has been very, very patient at the plate, showing pretty good plate discipline. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fouled off to the third base side, and count will remain at 1-2.
It's early, but Corzine could be the key batter in this ball game, really. If he gets a base hit, it's probably 5-0. If he doesn't, if the Jaycees are able to retire him, it stays 3-0, and that's not insurmountable.
This pitch way up high. 2-2. When Jackson has missed, he has missed by a bunch. Hasn't been much in between. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Curveball that's fouled off. Good piece of hitting up there by Joe Corzine as he just simply laid the bat out and fouled it away.
Well, if you'll remember, even though he's the number 9 hitter now, he started off this tournament as the leadoff hitter. So he's probably that type of a batter. He just wasn't having a good enough tournament to stay up there as Adam Goodman worked his way up to the top.
Corzine 3 of 13 coming into this plate appearance, 231 average. This pitch way upstairs again, 3-2. Well, we talked about BB American's plate discipline. Jackson has helped it because when he has missed, he has really missed. Bases loaded, 2 out. The 3-2 pitch to Joel Corzine. It's on the way. A curveball up high, and the second consecutive run walked in by James Jackson. And it's 4-0. Now they're going to have to make a decision here, and they're going to make a change. Odell Jones may come in from first. Time is called as the 4th run of the ball game comes across in person of Pat Mancuso. Control problems is an understatement for James Jackson. He has really struggled here in this inning. Odell Jones will come in the pitch.
Manager Kathy Wade for the Jaycees doing something right now where she's just trying to keep James Jackson in the game mentally. She's giving him a good talking to on the side, and by that I mean she's got to be trying to build up his confidence and say, listen, you can help us with your bat, you can help us with your fielding. Now forget about what happened on the mound. You'll get another chance later on to show what you can do on the mound. Now get out there and play good baseball, and we'll come back in this game. On the other hand, with 2 outs, Bradley-Bourbonnais with the top of their order up, and Goodman, who walked his first time, is up and really could do a lot of damage here with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and the score is already 4-0. Bradley-Bourbonnais American on top of the Jaycees.
Well, let's look at the change as Rodell Jones goes to the mound. James Jackson will now go out into left field. Cameron Butler, who was playing left field, will come in and play first base. So again, the pitcher, James Jackson, he goes to left. Left fielder Cameron Butler comes over the first, and first baseman Rodell Jones goes in the pitch. You know, BB American's got to be thinking, boy, if we can just hit the ball out of the infield, we may really score some runs.
Yeah.
Again, that double that was hit just between Cameron Butler and Omar Grant out in left center field, that was the only ball so far in the first 9 batters that has cleared the infield.
To their credit, really, Gary, though, they've gone out there with the bases loaded and have been patient and drawn the walks instead of hacking away looking at all those possible RBIs. They're getting them one at a time, and one at a time is just as good as 3 with 1 blow.
And to go a step further, Brian Petelle, the number 2 hitter, and Maggie Mitchell, the number 3 hitter, they did their job very well early in the inning when they both sacrificed. Brian Petelle was able to beat his out for a hit, and Mitchell was able to move both the men ahead of her in the scoring position. So everyone, for the most part, for Bradley-Bourbonnais has been able to do their job here in the top of the first inning. Thus, they lead 4-0. Back to the top of the order, Adam Goodman. He squares the bunt, now pulls back and takes the pitch for a ball. Eric Perkins is at third, Greg Kemp at second, and Joe Corzine at first. Top of the first inning, 4-0. Bradley-Bourbonnais American with the lead, and they're hoping to add to it here. The 1-0 pitch to Goodman. He squares the bunt again, and again he pulls back, and this time he takes it for a called strike.
It's a big pitch right there for the Jaycees. If he's down 2-0, then he might, Rodell Jones, the relief pitcher, might start aiming the pitch, which is, by the way, what James Jackson was doing late in his appearance here in the first inning. He just had lost it and was just trying to aim the pitches, and it just gets worse from there.
A 1-1 delivery. Down in the dirt, getting away from the catcher, but no advancement can be made. Again, you have a short backstop, only about 10 to 15 feet behind home plate. And unless that ball kicks down one of the baselines, it's really hard to advance from third base. You can advance from first to second and sometimes from second to third, but very seldom, unless it kicks down one of the foul lines, can you ever advance from third. 2-1 the count. Goodman, who led the game off with a walk and later came around to score, he pops this one up down the right field line, but it goes foul.
Nice catch by Scott Goslin over there.
Scott's supposed to be calling him out, not catching him out. He's going to be working the ball game tomorrow night, if indeed there is one. 2-2 is a count. Rodell Jones in relief comes to the plate. High fastball out of the strike zone, and Goodman can't lay off it. A swing and a miss for strike 3, but Bradley-Bourbonnais American in the top of the first inning. They make the most of it. 4 runs are scored on only 1 hit, and the bases remain loaded. We've played a top half of the first inning for Bradley-Bourbonnais American as they score 4 runs. I said going out of the first that they only had 1 hit. Indeed, they had 2. As Patelle's sacrifice bunt was ruled an infield hit. Then, of course, Wes Andrews had the RBI double. So 4 runs already, and the Jaycees will try to get some of those back. And it looks like it's time for another game of Take My Money. Or as they call it here, Split the Pot. Maggie Mitchell, she's on the hill for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, and she'll face James Jackson to lead things off. Pitch just missing outside.
James Jackson, a dangerous leadoff hitter. Twice in this tournament he's led off with home runs, and once against Maggie Mitchell.
Holds that bat way back. This pitch misses up high, and it's 2-0 to James Jackson. Jackson says this is all too familiar. That's how he led off the game, pitching against Adam Goodman. This one hit well into center field, a clean base hit. A shot for James Jackson right up the middle. Well, he sure did not let that opening pitching performance of his affect him at the plate.
Well, because of that, you have to feel kind of good for him. He had a rough outing with no strikeouts, 5 walks, 4 runs given up, and his team in a big hole as a result. And leading off with a base hit has to be good for his confidence.
Here's James Martell, and he takes the first pitch for a called strike. Maggie Mitchell's battery mate is Wes Andrews behind the plate. At third base is Eric Perkins, Joe Corzine at short, Pat Mancuso at second, and Adam Goodman at first. The 0-1 pitch up high, 1-1 the count. James Jackson reaches on a base hit. Martell, the 1-1 pitch to him. This one fouled right at us, but hits the screen and bounces off. Well, I thought that one was going to nip my partner Jim Brandt, who's buying the Take Our Money tickets. And if it would have hit it, it would have hit his best side. Here's a swing and a miss and a curveball. Quick throw down to first, but not in time as they try to catch James Jackson off the bag. Count 1-2. Excuse me, a strikeout. I looked at the scoreboard and read it without looking at the book. Omar Grant will step in, the number 3 hitter in the inning. Almost caught James Jackson sleeping down here at first, but he was able to get back with the one hand. Swing and a miss and a curveball down low.
What Maggie does so well, what Mitchell does so well on the mound is throw that curveball. She has a great curveball and keeps hitters off balance. Took her a little while to get going against the Jaycees in the first game they played, and as a result she was down 2-0 early, but that was it. After that she pitched a great ball game.
This pitch misses upstairs, and the count evens at 1-1. Well, let's see what we got here. 10 tickets, and I don't see a winner in the bunch.
It's got to be one there somewhere.
1-1 pitch inside, 2-1. Each one of these tickets says keep this coupon, and that unfortunately is what I've done to every coupon I've bought.
You can open a theater.
Mitchell to the plate, 2-1, a fastball that Grant cannot catch up with. Jammed him a little bit. 2-2. We've got one out here in the top of the first, or bottom of the first inning rather, in the top half of the inning. Bradley-Bourbonnais American scored 4. His fastball misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2. Jackson with a base hit up the middle. Martell struck out. And Omar Grant now with a 3-2 count facing him. And a swing and a miss and a curveball. Nice pitch from Maggie Mitchell. Pulled the string on Omar Grant at the right time. Back-to-back strikeouts now, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Alan Smith.
Well, with the leadoff hitter for the Jaycees aboard, James Jackson, it would have been nice and would be nice for them to get a run to get back into the game a little bit after getting down 4-0 early.
Mitchell misses outside for a ball.
And of course, on the other hand, for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, just as important for them to keep the Jaycees down right where they are.
This one chopped to third. Nice glove there by Perkins, who gets the force out over at second base as Mancuso covers the bag. So, Bradley-Bourbonnais American, they not only score 4 in the top of the inning, but they do the job defensively in the bottom half of the first. No runs, 1 hit for the Jaycees. 1 man was left stranded. We've played 1 complete, 4-0. Bradley-Bourbonnais American with the lead. We'll be back with more right after this.
Just as that.
Bradley-Bourbonnais American will go at it again after leading 4-0. Well, we've had a great week of tournament play, great weather, nice facility. Folks, I'll tell you, in this District 18, Carol Meredith and company know how to put on a tournament. And we know that from having covered the Little League teams that go out of this area to other parts of the state. And it's very easy to compare. And our district tournament is run better than most state tournaments.
It certainly is. They do a good job, and congratulations to Pam Rainbolt and the folks here at the Kankakee Lions. They put on a fine tournament this year.
4-0 is our score. Number 2 hitter Brian Petelle will step in. The second time he's been to the plate. Swing and a miss. Petelle, with Adam Goodman leading the game off in the first inning with a walk. Petelle tried to sacrifice him to second and ended up beating it out for a base hit. So he's 1 for 1. And a run scored. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Rodell Jones inside and low.
It'll be interesting, Gary. Their strategy coming in for Bradley-Bourbonnais American was to bunt a few times and see if the Jaycees could handle it. They didn't handle it real well. Now that they're up 4-0, it'll be interesting to see if BB American abandons that or just keeps it up trying to pile on the runs.
Big fat curveball on a 1-1 count, a called strike, and it's 1-2. Nice pitch out of Rodell Jones.
And I guess my feeling on it is, Gary, you keep bunting until they can't stop it.
Corners are in, but 2 strikes on the hitter. And the pitch overpowers.
Oh, look out, Van.
Brian Petelle. And he fouls it away just behind the WKAN news van.
The young lady stopped it with her body. Thank you. Give her one of our tickets for Split the Pot. No, it would be the winner. Forget it.
Jones back with the 1-2 pitch, a high fastball, 2-2. Well, I'll tell you, we've had good crowds almost every night out, and the weather has been perfect. Just simply perfect for baseball. Tonight, no exception. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Petelle, a curveball missing, 3-2.
The good thing about the crowd you see tonight, Gary, is that they represent not only the 2 teams on the field, but teams that have played in this tournament. You see Limestone colors, Bradley-Bourbonnais national colors, and others of teams that were participants but didn't make it this far.
3-2 pitch, a fastball, and once again, Petelle fouls it away and stays alive. We look out and see the flag limp out there in center field, and no wind at all. So if you're going to put one out tonight, it's on your own merit. 3-2 pitch again, a fastball swung on and fouled away.
The winner of this tournament plays Saturday evening at 5 o'clock in Ottawa, and it's in case you are familiar with Ottawa's field where Bradley-Bourbonnais American went about 4 years ago or so. It's not the same place. It's on the south part of town as opposed to where the other one was. And we'll be giving you directions later on how to get there.
Patel's been fouling off pitches, staying alive. Let's see what he can do here. The 3-2 delivery. High fastball. It's taken for a ball and a walk. So just like Adam Goodman led off the first inning with the walk, Brian Petelle returns the favor here in the top of the second. And that'll bring the corners in as Maggie Mitchell will step plateward. She sacrificed 2 men in scoring position in the first inning. Jaycees at least thinks she's going to do the same thing. She squares and lets the pitch go across the knees for a called strike.
Tell you what, though, Griff, it looked like Maggie, if she got a good pitch, was going to slap at the ball rather than bunt it. She was pulling the back bat and looked like she was going to take a swing.
We've got Matt Peters at third charging hard. So is Cameron Butler at first, and second baseman Sean Sullivan is coming from the second base area to cover first base. Same defensive alignment. The ball bunted out in front of the plate. Fielded by Peters, and he throws over to first just in time to net Maggie Mitchell. A good bunt. Peters, Jones, and Butler all converged to the ball, and really a little confusion as to who was going to take it, but Peters took charge and just nipped Maggie Mitchell. So the sacrifice is successful, getting Brian Petelle down the second base in scoring position, and I'll bring up cleanup hitter Pat Daulphin to the plate. And the first fastball, Daulphin fouls to the screen. Pat grounded out to the shortstop, Jim Martell, in the first inning, but was able to bring a run home, that being Adam Goodman, the leadoff hitter. So 0 for 1 with an RBI. And the 0-1 pitch, a called strike at the knees. Jones has no problem getting the fastball over, and he's quickly out in front of the leadoff hitter for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, Pat Daulphin, with an 0-2 count. Wind up and the pitch. Down in the dirt. Nice dig by Alan Smith. He lost it momentarily, but kept it right around within reach instead of letting it go to the screen, and that might have been enough for Pat Daulphin to go to third. 1-2 the count. One out, top of the second inning. And the pitch. Curveball swung on, hit the first base. Butler there makes the play unassisted at first, and that will send Brian Petelle over to third base. So it's going to take a 2-out hit. Something at least with 2 outs from Wes Andrews to get a run across here in the top of the second inning for Bradley-Bourbonnais American. Wes Andrews hit one out into left center field. Went for an RBI double. He came around to score. That all happened in the first inning. Andrews up there for the second time now. Wes Andrews 7 for 13 now in tournament play. And 9 RBIs, a team leading 9 RBIs. Fat curveball stays up high, 1-0.
Andrews had a nice game against Bradley-Bourbonnais National. Of course, they won it 16-2, but he had a home run, a double, and 2 RBIs against the National Leaguers. He also had 2 RBIs in their game against the Kankakee Lions.
Odell Jones to the plate. Letter high fastball. Called strike, 1-1. Well, we're deep and left. James Jackson just a couple of feet off the warning track. Pretty much straight away everywhere else. In center with Grant and right with Gilbride. This pitch just misses a corner for a ball. 2-1. Andrews had thoughts about going after that one and was able to check his swing. Jones with the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Andrews cannot catch up with the fastball. The count evens at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and we are in the top of the second inning. Runner over at third base, Brian Petelle. And the pitch. At the knees, called strike 3. Fastball. Catches. Andrews looking. We've played 1.5 for BB American. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. 4-0 is still our score. We'll be back with more right after this.
Riverside Ambulance is at your service, ready to respond to your call with the latest in mobile emergency equipment. And with an ambulance...
Peters, Tom Kilbride, and Rodell Jones are the scheduled hitters for the Kankakee Jaycees. Maggie Mitchell with her last warm-up pitch. And we're ready to play ball here in the bottom of the second inning. Bradley-Bourbonnais American was able to score 4 runs in the top of the first inning. They blanked out the Jaycees in the bottom of the first. Bradley-Bourbonnais left the man stranded at third in the top of the second. And we're ready to play here in the bottom of the second inning. In the leadoff hitter, Matt Peters. Peters, left-handed hitter. Right-hander Maggie Mitchell comes to the plate and misses for a ball.
First time Peters faced Mitchell in their first confrontation, the first game between these two teams. He hit her in the foot with an RBI single in the first inning.
Not a nice thing to do. Called strike, just across that inside corner. 1-1. And the pitch. Down low and inside. 2-1. Matt Peters, the leadoff man here in the bottom of the second inning, takes a strike right across the letters. 2-2. Mitchell, as most pitchers do, looks into the dugout to get the pitch call from the coach. Now comes plateward and misses inside, in fact, to the screen. Very few catchers at this level call pitches, and most of the signals are given from the coaches in the dugout. Mitchell again looks over our way. gets the call. Now looks in the catcher, Wes Andrews, and the 3-2 pitch. This one popped up, and it will go foul. Just over that screen as Eric Perkins gives chase from third base. Game tomorrow night, if necessary. If things ended now, it would be necessary as Bradley-Bourbonnais American leads early in this game, 4-0. But plenty of time and two good ball clubs competing here. Anything can happen. And anytime anything can happen, most of the times anything will happen. This one hit hard to short. Corzine there with the scoop and the throw. It goes over the head of first baseman Adam Goodman up against the dugout. And Matt Peters will be safe at first base.
The batter, right fielder, number 27, Tom Petelle.
No advancement by Peters on down to second base as the ball went off the facing of the dugout, and Adam Goodman was able to get on it in a hurry. I'll bring up Tom Kilbride, who swings and misses at the first pitch. Quick throw down to first base, but
that was interesting.
Peters was back in time.
Peters actually, instead of getting back to the bag, got back to Goodman's ankle, put his foot there, and so Goodman tried to apply the tag, but Peters realized what happened and put his foot on the bag in time.
Kilbride pops this one up, giving chase to center fielder Brian Petelle, and he does not make the shoestring grab. He went for the diving shoestring grab and comes up empty, and all hands are safe. Kilbride will get a base hit as Peters advances down to second base. And now the Jaycees with a threat of their own.
Rodell Jones is up next, the pitcher in relief for the Jaycees, and certainly has power to bring him within a run as he had a 2-run home run against Watseka. He won a game in relief against Limestone, also in relief of James Jackson in that ball game. He had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. He has 2 strikeouts on the mound already in an inning and a third of work.
Runner at first, a runner at second. Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Jaycees trailing 4-0, trying to get something going here, and they're off to a good start. And the pitch popped up, right center field, camping under a center fielder, Brian Petelle. He makes the catch, strong throw to third, they've got a shot, but it hits the runner. Oh, what a rocket Petelle showed out of right center field in the warning track area. He catches the pop-up and then just rifle ones the third. Peters might have been dead meat, but the throw actually hit him.
It was on target, but it hit the runner. I'll tell you what, Jones,
I thought they were going to be waiting on him.
Jones hit that far enough to be a home run twice. He just hit it too high. That was a sky-high fly ball that it was too high to get out of here.
Here's the first pitch to Cameron Butler. He pops it up a foul. Well, not only on the deep fly ball by Rodell Jones, not only was Matt Peters able to tag up and go to third, but on the play that way, Tom Kilbride was able to tag up at first base and go on down to second. So both men in scoring position. With one out, the 0-1 pitch, hit up the middle, a base hit. 1 run's going to score. They're going to send Kilbride. The throw to the plate. They got him! Score that 8-1-2. Brian Petelle with a bullet to Maggie Mitchell and the relay on to Wes Andrews in time for the second out. But a run does score. And Cameron Butler goes on down to second base on the throw. So we give Butler an RBI on the single. He advances to second base, and we have 2 out. Well, I'm not sure Maggie Mitchell actually needed to cut that throw off. In fact, it almost cost them the play as Kilbride almost slid under the tag. In fact, it was a close play at the plate.
You don't know how the ball would have bounced if it had bounced.
True.
So in that sense, she was making sure. The play at the plate, Kathy Wade, the manager for the Jaycees, protested pretty vigorously at first, and I'm not saying whether or not she was right or wrong, but like you say, it was very close, and the foot was there, the tag was there, right at the corner of the plate.
Sullivan takes the first pitch for a strike. Mitchell right back, and this one fouled away, and Sullivan down in the count 0-2 very quickly. Well, a big out, and Brian Petelle has shown just a tremendous arm from the outfield, both on the tag up earlier going to third and now on the play at home. Here's the 0-2 curveball swung on and hit right to the second baseman, and Mancuso just tall enough to make the catch. So the Jaycees strike in the second inning and do not get as much as they had hoped for. They score 1 run on 2 hits. 1 man was left on. We've played 2 complete. Bradley-Bourbonnais American. They lead the Kankakee Jaycees 4-1. We'll be back with more right after this. Preventing threat for the Jaycees in the bottom of the second inning as they put the first 2 men on base with nobody out, but are only able to get 1 run in. Thus, the American League of Bradley-Bourbonnais leads 4-1. We're here in the top of the 3rd inning, and the first pitch taken by Pat Mancuso for a ball.
You know, Gary, that the top of the or the bottom of the second inning for both teams, and by that I mean the Jaycees got a feel for hitting against Maggie Mitchell, and they seem to be coming around with their bats. However, the American Leaguers saw them hit the ball well and only come up with 1 run, and with a 4-1 lead now, they can feel somewhat confident.
Rodell Jones, the 1-0 pitch, inside, 2-0. Boy, I can't get over the throwing arm of Brian Petelle in center field. I want to know where he plugs that thing in at. Pat Mancuso walked and came around to score in the first inning. Here's a called strike, 2-1.
Jones has done a pretty good job in relief for the Kankakee Jaycees. He came on and struck out the batter he faced in the first inning, and he struck out 1, allowing only 1 base runner on a walk in the
actually makes contact with the ball twice. First on the initial contact, and then the second time after it bounces on the dirt. 0-2. You would guess Bradley-Bourbonnais American would take off the bunt sign here, 0-2, with nobody out. Tough to turn a double play in Little League, it really is. This one fouled away down the first base line as Kemp stays tough in there against Rodell Jones. Really on your typical 6-4-3 double plays or 4-6-3 double plays, your middle infielders, their arms just aren't strong enough to make that throw without taking 3 or 4 steps to gain some momentum, and the bases are so much shorter. It's really hard to turn a double play. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Kemp. Down in the dirt, it goes to the screen. Both runners will advance, and Kemp will get the job done without the aid of a sacrifice. Now all he has to do is change his stance a little bit, choke up on the bat, and just worry about making contact. A ground ball here to the right side may just score a run. Nobody out. It'll depend on whether Bradley-Bourbonnais American has a contact play on or not. We'll talk about that in a moment. Jones with the 1-2 pitch. It's on the way. Fouled away at the screen. Well, many times with nobody out, you'll tell the runner at third, make sure it goes here or goes there. A lot of times with 1 man out, you'll tell that runner at third, no matter where it's hit, you break and try to score. Unless, of course, it's in the air.
Well, earlier in this game, Bradley was not playing run on contact from third. They were waiting to see what happened with the play, and if it went away from them, they would try to score.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, called strike 3. It was a dandy. And Kemp was a spectator there, and it cost him an out. Joe Corzine, the number 9 hitter, will come in with runners at second and third, 1 out, and we're in the top of the 3rd inning. 4-1, American with the lead, and they have the threat going here as well. Corzine, a left-handed hitter, walked with the bases loaded. He tries to bunt the ball and reaches and comes up empty. 0-1. Bases loaded walk and an RBI for Corzine the first time up. See if the bunt stays on. The corners are in. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Jones with the 0-1 pitch. Squaring and taking the pitch is Joel Corzine, and the count moves 1-1 as the pitch was called a ball. I'm Gary Griffin along with Jim Brandt. It's good to have you along on AM 1320 WKAN in Kankakee. And the 1-1 pitch. Just missing the knees. A ball, 2-1. Well, I'll tell you, for a pitch to be low with these little kids and their low knees, it's got to really be low. 2-1 to count. Jones comes to the plate. High fastball misses. That was head high, and it's 3-1. Well, number 9 hitter Joe Corzine looking to walk for the second time tonight. It would be the 6th walk of the game surrendered by the Jaycees. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Hauled, strike at the letters. 3-2. Well, the American League trying to get some sort of contact out of the bottom of their order so they can score a run. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Letter high fastball, and it was riding away from the hitter. 2 outs. Back-to-back strikeouts had a good time for Rodell Jones. After the first 2 men, Pat Mancuso and Eric Perkins, reached with nobody out, Rodell Jones has really risen to the occasion, striking out Greg Kemp looking, and now Joe Corzine swinging. Here's Adam Goodman. And a swing and a foul to the screen. Goodman led this whole fiasco off back in the first inning with a walk. Came around to score the first run of the game for BB American. And he ended the first inning as well by striking out. The beginning and the end, so to speak, and Adam Goodman. He's hoping to perpetuate this inning. We're in the top of the 3rd. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This one popped up in the infield. Sullivan calls for it, and on the outfield grass, the second baseman makes the catch. So another Bradley-Bourbonnais American threat is thwarted here in the top of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits. 2 men were left on. We've played 2.5. 4-1, Bradley-Bourbonnais American over the Jaycees. So we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more District 18 championship action right after this.
In these days of
Another opportunity to try to get back in this one. So we approach the halfway point in this ball game here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jaycees will go to the top of the order against Maggie Mitchell. James Jackson will start things off, and he takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Jackson, Martell, and Grant, those are the scheduled hitters, batting in the number 1, 2, and 3 holes in this JC lineup. This one fouled away at the plate. 1-1 the count goes to James Jackson.
Well, the Jaycees have done something very important for their cause, and that is after a very shaky inning in which they gave up 4 runs, they have not given up any in the next 2. And if they keep that trend up, they have a chance in this ball game, and that's all you ask when you have another game tomorrow night.
1-1 pitch hit well out in the center field. Back, gone. James Jackson, his 3rd home run of the tournament. A solo shot to lead off the 3rd inning to dead center field.
Well, he's earned his team 3 pizzas as well. Pizza. The District 18 Little League Tournament. And remember, Pizza by Marcelloni is now going to be open for lunch starting August the 1st.
There's James Martell. He bunts one right back to the mound. Mitchell with the grab and the throw in time. Well, that was a little bit more towards first than what I had originally had said. And Mitchell found that out to be true, too, as that ball just kept rolling and rolling. And Maggie Mitchell finally fielded it only about 5 steps shy of the bag. And she had to shovel it over to Adam Goodman. And she just nips Martell. Not a bad job by Martell putting one down after the big home run.
That was a great bunt and a great play by Mitchell.
Omar Grant steps in and takes the first pitch for a strike. Boy, that was a shot by James Jackson that cleared the fence by a good 10 feet or so. A leadoff home run here for the Jaycees in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-2 is the score now. Bradley-Bourbonnais American still with the advantage. And this pitch misses inside for a ball. The count 1-1 to Omar Grant. Omar was a strikeout victim to Maggie Mitchell in the first inning. Here's a swing and a miss on a letter high fastball. 1-2. Well, I know 2 of those 3 home runs have been leadoff home runs for Jackson. I'm not sure about the 3rd.
Well, 2 of them were leadoffs in the game. So they're all 3
leading off the inning,
yeah.
1-2 pitch, just missing outside.
Jackson led off against Watsika with a home run in the game. He led off the game against Maggie Mitchell the last time he faced her with a home run, and now he leads off the third inning with a home run.
And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and hit well to right center. It's going to be a gapper up against the fence. The runner falls down coming around first base, and that's a good break for him because Petelle would have had him nailed at second. Boy, Brian Petelle.
Isn't he amazing?
The guy can play the outfield with the best of them. And it's just as well that Omar Grant tripped coming around first base because they would have been waiting for him at second.
Well, it's natural that you're going to be aggressive when the ball hits the fence and try for two, but Petelle has shown us a wonderful arm from center field.
First pitch to Alan Smith, misses away for a ball.
He could pitch from second base with his arm.
Well, both Jackson and Grant have gone deep against Maggie Mitchell. This pitch down in the dirt, it goes to the screen, but Smith swings and misses.
And
going down to second base is Omar Grant on the wild pitch.
I think the Jaycees have to be careful about something now. They've hit the ball hard the last couple of innings against Maggie Mitchell, and now they have to concentrate on swinging hard, sure, but making contact. I think Alan Smith there was guilty of over-swinging a little bit, and it might be because of the 2 shots he's seen in this inning.
Wes Andrews has some equipment problems. Wes, of course, a member of that Rudolph team and a Bradley-Bourbonnais American. Had to take his glasses off, I believe. There's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit well down the third base line, but foul.
Nobody warming up for Bradley-Bourbonnais American just yet. They did indicate that if they went to anybody, it would probably be Jeff Leonard. He's been warming up before in this series, but only Maggie Mitchell and Perkins have pitched for Bradley-Bourbonnais American in this tournament.
Here's a 1-2 pitch, hit well down the left field line, but it will go foul and out of play. Maggie not exactly fooling anybody here in the bottom of the third inning. Guys are getting their cuts on her. Jackson, of course, led off with a home run to dead center. Martell came back and tried to drag Bunt his way on and just got out on a bang-bang play, and Omar Grant just put one to the wall in right center field. Alan Smith is down in the count 1-2, but he's had a couple of vicious cuts up there as well. One runner on. That's Grant at second, 1 out, bottom of the third, and a 1-2 pitch to Alan Smith. And the delivery. Swung on and fouled down the third base line. That thing rolled and hugged the foul line and finally went across the chalk. And right there to make sure it stayed foul is third baseman Eric Perkins. So once again, Alan Smith will come back to the batter's box and will face a 1-2 delivery from Maggie Mitchell.
Big Run is standing at second right now for the Jaycees. They are down by 2 runs. It's still early in the game, third inning, about the halfway point, but there's only 1 out.
Good confrontation here between Mitchell and Alan Smith. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Mitchell got the best of this confrontation. And there's 2 outs here in the inning.
Well, with the runner on second, Omar Grant, that makes Matt Peters a big batter for the Jaycees here. Now he's standing in with his team down by 1, a runner in scoring position, down by 2 with a runner in scoring position, and 2 down.
And a strike to Matt Peters. Peters reached on an error back in the second inning and came around to score. This pitch just misses down low and away. The count evens at 1-1. Mitchell quickly back to the plate. Pitch is high, a fastball misses. Here's a quick throw to second, but back in time is Grant. Boy, oh boy, if Pat Mancuso could have gotten that throw from Maggie Mitchell down the tag, that is, just a little bit quicker, they would have had Grant. Here's a 2-1 pitch up high, 3-1 to Matt Peters with Tom Kilbride on deck. Well, Mitchell doesn't want to go as far as Kilbride. She needs to get Peters here. She walked him. 2-out walk to Matt Peters. And you do not want to walk people with 2 out. It's not a good time ever to walk people, but especially with 2 out.
Kilbride got a base hit his last time up, too, so it's something for Bradley-Bourbonnais American to be concerned about, and they're going to talk it over. Norm Weichbordt, the manager, out talking with his battery mates, Wes Andrews, the catcher, and Maggie Mitchell, the pitcher for Bradley-Bourbonnais American.
Well, I tell you, we have a great crowd in both sets of bleachers, up and down the foul lines, out in the outfield, and we're not even halfway through this one, so if you're anywhere close, you'll want to come by. The concessions are good, the baseball is excellent, and the weather's beautiful. Can't beat this for an evening on a Monday night in July. Runners at second and first. Grant out at second, Peters at first base, and here's Tom Kilbride. 2 out here in the bottom of the third inning, and the pitch backs Kilbride off the plate. Inside fastball that turns Kilbride around a couple of times. He steps right back in there, and Maggie Mitchell on her way to the plate. Fastball just below those tall knees of Tom Kilbride, and a count 2-0.
And on deck, big Rodell Jones, who took Maggie Mitchell to the warning track with a towering fly ball his last time up in the last inning.
2-0 pitch, swung on, and a base hit to right. There's Kemp. He'll come plateward with the throw. Mitchell cuts it off. The relay on the third, not in time, and it's 4-3. Tom Kilbride, another key base hit. He brings 1 run across, and both he and Peters are in scoring position at second and third base respectively. And here comes the big slugger, Rodell Jones.
Well, he was warming up in the on-deck circle right-handed. He has been batting left-handed, and he's going to stand in from the right-hand side this time.
Mitchell to the plate, swung on and missed. A big swing there. A big pitch, a big swing, and we could feel the breeze up here. Mitchell, a quick worker in this inning. She comes plateward, swung on and popped up. It's going to be a tough play. Pat Daulphin lets it fall for a hit. 2 runs are across, and Jones in the second standing. Pat Daulphin simply lost that in the sky. It was a short pop-up that was found the midpoint between shortstop Joe Corzine and left fielder Pat Daulphin, and then to make matters worse, Daulphin looked up and just simply could not find a ball in this blue sky up above. 2 runs have scored, and the Jaycees lead 5-4. And a pitch up high to Cameron Butler. 2 RBIs for Rodell Jones on the double. Now time is called by the Jaycees. They're going to have a pinch runner for Rodell Jones. Boy, oh boy. It's amazing what can happen with 2 outs, isn't it?
Now running for Jones, Al Polk.
Al Polk, the pinch runner for Rodell Jones, out at second base. 2 are still out here in the bottom of the third. The pitch to Butler popped up and out of play. Let's see what all has transpired here with 2 outs. Well, 2 runs have come across. A walk and 2 base hits, all with 2 outs. This one chopped up the middle, beyond Corzine. Here's Petelle, throw to the plate, cut off, and safe at home, and safe at second. Questionable decision by pitcher Maggie Mitchell as to whether to cut that ball off, as it looked like Petelle had a bullet to home.
Well, she's cut everything off here. Even when she's going home, she cuts it off, turns and fires. This time she thought she had a chance at the player at second. She did, but the throw a little bit high, and that allowed him to slide in.
Boy, oh boy. 6-4. Even if they would have gotten Butler at second base, the run would have scored, as Jones, or rather Polk, who was running for Jones, had already crossed the plate before the tag would have been made for the third out.
Yeah, I'm surprised he cut the ball off with Petelle throwing. We've mentioned about his arm, and he has a cannon out there.
Sullivan, the second pitch to, or rather Mitchell, the second pitch to Sullivan, swung on and missed. The count evens at 1-1.
You know, Petelle, not a real big guy looking out there. Where's number 1? He looks the part, but boy, does he have an arm.
I'm just wondering how long it takes to charge that thing up in between throws. He can unleash it with the best of them.
And as we said might happen, Jeff Leonard is warming up for Bradley-Bourbonnais American in the bullpen.
Swing and a miss to Sullivan, 1-2 the count. 5 runs have come across the plate for the Jaycees here in the bottom of the third. 3 of those have come after there were 2 outs. Here's a 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that's it. But boy, oh boy, do the Jaycees strike big. They struck oil, folks, here in the bottom of the third. 5 runs on 5 hits. 1 man was left on. And we're talking crude oil. We played 3 complete. Jaycees now with the lead, 6-4. We'll be back with more.
Enjoy a little. Bourbonnais American now trailing 6-4 as we head into the top of the 4th inning, and they get a leadoff hit by Brian Petelle. So Petelle leads things off in good fashion for the American Leaguers from Bradley-Bourbonnais after a 5-run inning by the Kankakee Jaycees has put the American Leaguers down for the first time in this ball game after they went up 4-0 with a 4-run inning in the top of the 1st. And Maggie Mitchell, the pitcher, will now stand in for Bradley-Bourbonnais American League with Petelle at first and nobody out. Rodell Jones still on the mound in relief for the Jaycees. Fires and Mitchell fouls it straight back to the screen.
Well, down 2 runs now. The Bradley-Bourbonnais American hitting philosophy will probably change, and it looked like it did on the first pitch to Mitchell. She has been bunting the last 2 times up. She swings away on the first pitch here.
Jones ready, the 0-1. Fouled off again for strike 2.
Well, Bradley-Bourbonnais American has been successful with their leadoff hitters. In each of the 4 innings, their leadoff hitter has reached base. The first 3 times via the walk route. Now Petelle with a base hit.
Mitchell back in the box. 0-2 is the count. Jones fires. It's down low for ball 1.
Really, Jim, when you think of a leadoff hitter getting on every inning, you think of runs being produced. And Bradley-Bourbonnais American, yeah, they've got 4 runs, but they all came in the first inning. They have not scored since.
Here comes a 1-2 from Jones. Hits down the first. Butler has it. Looks to second, but instead gets the sure out. And with the lead, that's probably a good play.
Not a bad thought there by Butler. As you say, he kind of realized that he had a 2-run lead, and it might have been a questionable throw down to second base as he would have had to go around the runner. And he wisely came over and took the unassisted out at first.
Well, and if this was the 6th inning, maybe you do go to second. But in this case, you get the sure out. Carl Wolf is now pinch hitting for Pat Daulphin. By the way, Pat Mancuso is now in the bullpen warming up. He's a second baseman. The first pitch, a strike, as Wolf squared the bunt but pulled it back and looked at the strike.
For Bradley-Bourbonnais American, by the way, Jim, with the out at first base, it takes the force play away and allows them to be a little bit more selective offensively. They can hit one now in the hole and not have to worry about an easy force play at second.
Jones ready with the 0-1 to Wolf, off the mark for ball 1. Kind of ironic in that Mitchell had been bunting the first 2 times. This time she swings away and basically sacrifices the runner over, hitting behind him to the first baseman, Cameron Butler. A ball and a strike to the pinch hitter. Wolf, batting left-handed against the left-handed pitcher, looks at a ball up high, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike.
Well, with the runner in scoring position, American can do something here. They have Wes Andrews on deck. Wes can hit the ball. He can go out with it.
6-4 the Jaycees with a big 5-run inning, coming back to take the lead. This pitch off the mark, and it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count.
The last thing Rodell Jones wants now is control problems. Big pitch here, both if you're the hitter at the plate in terms of plate discipline, and of course if you're Rodell Jones.
So far for Jones, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. The next pitch, swung on and missed, a bit of a changeup. He took something off the pitch, and Wolf was ahead of it. And the count is now full, 3-2. Jones rocked back, wind, delivery, called strike 3. Good pitch. Wolf just couldn't pull the trigger. Wes Andrews will stand in with the runner still at second and 2 outs. Brian Petelle reached on a base hit, was moved over on Maggie Mitchell's ground out to first. And Rodell Jones looking to get out of a minor jam here in the top of the 4th inning. His delivery to Andrews just outside for ball 1.
Wes Andrews had an RBI double in the 1st inning. In fact, of the 4 runs that scored, Andrews was the only one that got the ball out of the infield. He put one out in the gap in left center field.
Jones with a 1-0 on its way. Swung on, hit toward first. Ooh, a nice stop by the first baseman. And Cameron Butler makes the put out unassisted to retire the side. That took a wicked hop up toward his chest and face, and he knocked it down, picked it back up, and got the put out. In the inning for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, a man left. And after 3.5 innings of play, it's the Kankakee Jaycees on top, 6-4. We'll be back with more Little League Baseball on WKAN after this 1-minute timeout. Left field, and he batted for the previous left fielder and will stay in. So Pat Daulphin is out, Carl Wolf is in.
Well, the Jaycees want to keep the pressure coming, and if you're a Bradley-Bourbonnais fan, well, they've got to play some tough D and get some good pitching out of Maggie Mitchell. Maggie was sailing along in this one at a pretty good pace until there were 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd, and then things fell apart. And it was one of those dreaded 2-out walks that got things going for the Jaycees. And to be exact, it was Matt Peters that drew that 2-out walk. Then a RBI single out of Kilbride, and 2 RBI double out of Rodell Jones, and an RBI single out of Cameron Butler.
Well, we head into the bottom of the 4th, and the Jaycees send up their number 9 1 and 2 hitters. Sean Sullivan set to start things off, but we have a pinch hitter.
It's too polite to say that walks will haunt you. Most of the time, they will beat you.
I'm sorry, Sullivan made the last out. Jackson is now up. James Jackson with a 1-1 count as he swings and misses on the 2nd pitch after watching the first 4 a ball. Here's the wind, and the pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. So Jackson in a bit of a hole. He homered his last time. His 3rd home run in this District 18 Little League tournament. All of them solo shots, so they all let off innings. 2 of them let off a game, and he looks at strike 3 for the first out in the inning. And that will bring up James Martell, the 2nd batter in the inning. Martell struck out his first time and was retired on a nice bunt his last time. A good effort by Maggie Mitchell got him out. He taps this one toward second. Mancuso up with it over to Goodman at first for the 2nd out of the inning. And that will bring up Omar Grant. Last time up, he singled and scored in that big 5-run 3rd inning for the Kankakee Jaycees. But 2 down now and nobody on.
I mentioned America needs to get them out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, but they've got it in overdrive right now.
The wind and the pitch. Outside. Ball 1.
Maggie Mitchell wastes no time on the mound. She gets the sign and she goes after it.
Here's the pitch, hit towards short. Oh, a bad hop right over the shoulder of Joel Corzine, and now it's bobbled in the outfield, and scooting to second is Grant.
It actually got by Carl Wolf out there, and it took Brian Petelle to pick it up.
A bad hop double, we'll call it.
Boy, I'll tell you, Jim, that ball on the infield almost decapitated Joel Corzine. It took a hop off the grass and almost took Corzine's head with it.
And that brings up cleanup hitter Alan Smith, the catcher, with a big run at second base, but 2 outs, as Omar Grant represents what would be a 3-run lead for the Jaycees. Smith offers at a low pitch. He's shown that he likes those pitches down low, but he fouls it off. The count now 1-1.
And if you're Maggie Mitchell, unfortunately, you have given up some more offense with 2 outs. It's not just Maggie Mitchell. I'll tell you, it happens at every level of baseball up through the college and professional ranks.
Here's the 1-1. Popped up on the infield. The shortstop and third baseman call for it. Now Corzine takes charge at short and makes a basket catch. A little shaky, but he comes up with it for the final out of the inning. No runs for the Jaycees. 1 hit on a double. 1 man left, and after 4 complete, it's 6-4. The Kankakee Jaycees over Bradley-Bourbonnais American Leaguers. We'll be back with more after this on AM 1320.
Oh! Little League.
I quit.
On the Let's Take Your Money game. Larry Tempe of WKAN, unbelievable. He just won 186 big ones and 50 little ones.
No.
It's not fair. It's not right. Life is not worth the living.
He makes those tens of millions of dollars this morning, man, at WKAN, and gets another $186 and split the pot.
Unbelievable.
Oh, well.
He comes to the game for free and makes 186 bucks.
Yeah.
We get paid.
We're working up on the dugout, and Larry Tempe wouldn't split the pot. Well, he better bring donuts.
Yeah, he's rubbing it in with the high fives down there, isn't he? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And to think 2 of those dollars were ours.
One of them. To split the pot.
Oh, that's right.
So 1 went to the Lions Little League, which I'm glad for.
Which we're happy for. I don't mind that. In fact, I wish Larry would donate our other $1.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got more baseball.
We head into the 5th inning. Bradley-Bourbonnais American trailing by 2. Pat Mancuso, the second baseman, to lead things off against Rodell Jones in relief for the Jaycees. The first pitch inside for ball 1.
By the way, who brought us the drinks?
Gentleman from Bradley-Bourbonnais' program, Mr. Goodman, I believe. I met him the other day. And I think that's Adam's dad.
Thank you very much.
If not, come correct me and I'll give you proper credit. Yeah, thanks for the Pepsi.
Fine consolation gift for not winning Split the Pot.
$186 Pepsi here. Jones with a 2-0 count now gets the next one across. And the count is now 2-1.
I think I could have been happy for anybody else in the world winning.
Almost. Almost. If what's his name from Iraq won it, I might be a little bit more upset. Next pitch off the mark. It's now 3-1. Might. Oh, shucks. He's got to bring donuts to work tomorrow. Better have, the jelly kind for breakfast. Here's the 3-1 to Mancuso, foul back. We've got a good ball game going. We're just so upset about not winning the split the pot. 3-2 is the count. 6-4 is our score. The Kankakee Jaycees, who trailed after half an inning, 4-0, with a big comeback and a lead of 6-4 right now. They play 6 innings, of course, in Little League, so we've got a couple more to go. But these 2 at-bats, the remainder 4, Bradley-Bourbonnais American if they don't come up with some runs. This pitch off the mark for ball 4, and Mancuso is aboard with the leadoff walk. If the Jaycees win tonight, they advance to section play on Saturday. If American's able to come back, we play again tomorrow night. Oh, we just got a pickoff at first. Heads-up play by Cameron Butler at first. Mancuso was standing on both the safety bag and the regular base, as there's both down here at first base. 1 foot on one on the other. Butler tagged him once with the ball. He was okay. Then Mancuso kind of backed off with 1 foot, was standing only on the safety bag with the other foot. Butler saw that, tagged him, and gets the out. Unbelievable. When things aren't going your way, they certainly aren't, and that's the way it is for Pat Mancuso and Bradley-Bourbonnais American League. Officially caught stealing. Mancuso after a walk, not a pitch thrown, and he's retired. Picked off when there's really no leading off to speak of in Little League.
Good call.
Perkins is now up. The third baseman, yeah. I mean, that takes a heads-up umpire. The safety bag is on the foul side, the real bag on the fair side of the infield.
And again, you can use the safety bag going to first base.
So once you're there,
once you have crossed first base and reached the bag and it's been awarded to you, you must only use the official white square thing.
Well, now the key for Bradley-Bourbonnais is to not let that get them too upset. They've got to keep going. That was a big runner to lose. This one popped foul out of play by Perkins.
And not an argument out of the dugout. After all, it was right there in front of everyone.
A ball and a strike. give a lot of credit to Butler, the first baseman, for knowing the rule and being very aware, making that second tag, because he'd already tagged him once. Then went back and got him again when he lifted that foot off the real base. A ball and 2 strikes to Perkins. Here's Rodell Jones' pitch, and he gets him swinging. Well, the Jaycees are starting to look like champions. They're 4 outs away from a District 18 championship. It would be their first since 1983.
Well, coming into this game undefeated, they have looked like champions before.
Well, they were down 4-0 early in this game. We were thinking we might be back here again tomorrow night. That still might happen, but right now the Jaycees have the momentum in their favor. Greg Kemp, the right fielder, now up. Nobody on, 2 down. His team down by 2. The wind in the pitch just outside for a ball. Jones is really seemed to be rolling right now. He was a little shaky back in the 3rd as he walked 1 batter. He's walked 2 overall in his relief appearance, but has done a fine job. This one is tapped foul to the first base side, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
Bradley-Bourbonnais down to 4 outs over the next inning and a 3rd, and that's providing everything stays the way it is now, and the Jaycees don't add in the bottom of the 5th. Boy, things changed in a hurry, and it all came in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 outs.
Here's the 1-1 to Kemp. Inside, nearly got him. It did not. It sounded like it hit something. Some of the people claiming it did hit him. He wasn't too convincing, though, as he backed away as if he wasn't hit.
Couldn't tell it hit him by the way Greg Kemp reacted.
Like the way the coach down at 3rd for Bradley-Bourbonnais handled it. Russ Perkins said, "Yeah, I hit you." Then he kind of smiled. That pitch down low. The count is now 3-1. So Kemp may find his way aboard anyway. 2 down, nobody out. Nobody on with 2 outs.
The last 2 hitters that Rodell Jones has gone 3-1 to. He has come back to strike him out.
Here's the wind and pitch. Swinging is Kemp for strike 2. He foul tipped it into the catcher's mitt. A full count now with 2 outs in the inning. Looking for his 5th strikeout. No, instead he gets his 4th walk. Kemp on first with 2 outs. Joel Corzine, who struck out his last time, had an RBI walk back in the 1st, is now the batter. The first pitch from Rodell Jones to Joel Corzine, on its way up high, way high for a ball. Jumping off first is Kemp, no play. They just look him back and go back to the mound with the ball. Well, the Jaycees saw Bradley-Bourbonnais American come up with 4 runs in the top of the 1st. They came back with 1 in the 2nd and that big 5-run 3rd and hold the 6-4 lead here in the 5th inning. Top of the 5th. Here's the 1-0, swung on and missed. Looking awkward on that one was Corzine.
Well, Corzine kind of a half thought there. He wasn't sure if he wanted to swing or hold up. And as a result, he did look awkward with the definite maybe swing.
A ball and a strike to Bradley-Bourbonnais American League's shortstop. Here's the wind and pitch, called strike 2. Well, anytime there's a runner aboard, Bradley-Bourbonnais American has the tying run up at the plate. So it's always a scary moment for the Jaycees and a potentially good moment for Bradley-Bourbonnais American when they have that runner at first. The next pitch inside, the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Corzine working against relief pitcher Rodell Jones, who helps his own cause with a double in that big 5-run 3rd. He also had a sacrifice fly, actually a fly that moved runners over, did not bring anybody home. The next pitch on the 2-2, fouled off on the left field side over the dugout on the 3rd base side, and the count stays 2-2. Section 5 tournament gets underway in beautiful Ottawa Saturday evening.
Well, deuces are wild here with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, and Bradley-Bourbonnais American definitely needs a favorable roll of the dice.
Jones, 2-2 pitch, swung on a high pitch, fouled back for the count to remain at 2-all.
you remember, Maggie Mitchell had the same type of confrontation with Alan Smith. Alan stayed alive and fouled several off and then was struck out. Let's see if Rodell Jones returns the favor.
Jones is ready. And here's his delivery. Oh, what up they had him way out in front. Swinging and missing is Corzine, his second strikeout in a row. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Jones and 5 overall. And the Jaycees maintain their 6-4 lead over Bradley-Bourbonnais American. After 4.5 innings of play, we'll be back at the District 18 Little League Tournament on WKAN after this timeout.
Security Lumber Do-It Center says pick a project and let the #1 home center help you create a #1 home.
6-4 is our score. We head into the bottom of the 5th. Matt Peters will lead things off for the Jaycees with his team up by those 2 runs.
On deck, Tom Kilbride. He's been a pain in the back of Bradley-Bourbonnais American with 2 hits tonight.
Now Peters has reached twice, scored twice, looks at ball 1. His first time he reached on an error and eventually scored on Cameron Butler's RBI double or single, and then he reached also in the 3rd on a walk and eventually scored then as well. It taps this one foul. He scored the 2nd time on Rodell Jones' RBI double.
Peters, Kilbride, and Jones, these 3 right here have been the main thrust offensively for the Jaycees.
Jaycees switching coaches, so we're probably going to see a change in the lineup. Bring the coach in possibly to bat. Peters looks at the next pitch up high for a 2-1 count.
Tyron Holloway. Or is it?
Well, Tommy Kilbride came over here to coach, so
yeah,
we may see.
Holloway was the one that went into the dugout.
Okay, so Kilbride will be pinch hit for. The next pitch off the mark, and Peters has a 3-1 count. So Matt will back out and now dig into the box and get a better toe hold for a 3-1 pitch.
Peters looking to reach base for the 3rd consecutive time.
3-1 count, you can kind of sit on a pitch and wait for something you want. Peters liked what he got, but he swings through it for strike 2. A full count to the 3rd baseman for the Kankakee Jaycees. And here comes the 3-2 from Mitchell. Fouled off. Peters stays alive. 6-4. The Jaycees on top in the bottom of the 5th inning. Again, in Little League, they play 6, so time is short for Bradley-Bourbonnais American in this double elimination tournament. They have a loss. The Jaycees do not. The next pitch. Ball 4. Matt Peters is aboard with the leadoff walk. The 2nd walk in a row to Peters. And Nathan Jordan will be the pinch batter for Tommy Kilbride. More than likely, Kilbride will be back in the field when the Jaycees go back out after they bat. The first pitch, outside for a ball. Peters jumping off first, now jumping back as the catcher, Wes Andrews, looks him back. Ball 1 to Nathan Jordan, and timeout as Peters calls time as he discovered a shoelace undone. He's taken care of, and we're ready to go. A ball and no strikes to the pinch hitter, Nathan Jordan. The pitch swung on and missed for strike 1, the count even. Rodell Jones on deck. Had a deep sacrifice fly his first time, Jones did, and then had a short pop double as he switched around from left-handed to batting right-handed the next time up. The 1-1 called strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, Maggie Mitchell has settled down after that 5-run 3rd. She got through the 4th with no harm. This one tapped toward the mound, gets by Mitchell to the 2nd baseman, picked up, thrown to 2nd, and they get the force as Peters is forced out there. Mancuso to Corzine.
That's a nice job by Mancuso, having to throw into the runner, but he did a good job. He got set, he righted himself, and made a good throw down there to nip the runner at 2nd base. Nice job getting the lead man.
You know, Gary, same situation. We were talking about the Jaycees. It was good to go to 1st and get the lead runner. In this case, Bradley-Bourbonnais wants to stay close, so they want to keep that runner off 2nd. And like you say, a good play by Mancuso to keep the lead runner from advancing. Jordan reaches on the fielder's choice. Rodell Jones stands in with 1 out and fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. So with 1 out, the Jaycees looking for an insurance run, while Bradley-Bourbonnais American trying to keep the task as easy as possible, or try to keep it from getting any more difficult than it will be. Mitchell's 0-1, swung on, bounced to third. Nice scoop over there by Perkins. He goes to second for the force. Mancuso handles the throw at second. Jordan is forced out. Jones reaches on another fielder's choice. And Cameron Butler will be the batter.
Nice scoop by Eric Perkins at third. I'm not sure he actually watched the ball into the glove, but he had the glove where it needed to be.
And so another runner at first is Jones. Butler stands in. A couple of RBIs in this game. Throw down to first. Jones is back after ball one. RBI singles in the second and third innings for Cameron Butler. And here's the 1-0. Swings and misses, a little behind that pitch. And the count now even, a ball and a strike. Mitchell trying to get out of this inning without any more damage being done. Fouled back on the next pitch. The count now 1-2. Sean Sullivan stands on deck, hoping for another at-bat in this ballgame. Looking ahead to the top of the sixth, Bradley-Bourbonnais with the top of their order up, so they have who they want anyway. And the pitch swung on and missed, and that's it. We're through 5, one more to go. The Jaycees over Bradley-Bourbonnais American 6-4. We'll be back with more on WKAN. The final inning coming up on AM 1320 after a 1-minute timeout.
There's no doubt about it. The more you learn,
Their first District 18 title in 8 years. 1983, the last time that they came up with one. And Bradley-Bourbonnais American trailing by 2 as they come up in the top of the sixth at 6-4. And Adam Goodman, the leadoff hitter, the top man in the order. That first pitch to him swung on and missed for strike one. Rodell Jones trying to wrap things up. He's done a fine job in relief of James Jackson, who could not get through the first, in which 9 batters came to the plate. 4 runs scored for Bradley-Bourbonnais American. Here's the 0-1 by Jones. Swung on, popped toward right, shallow right field, but Kilbride is there and makes the first out in the inning. 1 down, and Brian Petelle, the fine center fielder for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, will be up. He's been the equivalent of a Jesse Barfield out there with his arm. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run back in the first. 1 down, nobody on base as Petelle stands in. Swings and fouls the back.
Tom Kilbride as he kicked it around, and then Omar Grant couldn't pick it up either. So it'll be a hit and an error.
Now with 1 out, you have the numbers 3, 4, and 5 batters coming up. And the run at second, Petelle, means that Maggie Mitchell represents the tying run of the ballgame as she steps up to the plate. The first pitch, a called strike right down the middle by Rodell Jones. Well, at second, Petelle has to be very careful. His run doesn't mean anything if they don't get another after him, so he cannot get thrown out.
And if you're an infielder or even an outfielder, you may have to just give up that run.
Here's the next pitch. The 0-1 is down low for a ball, 1-1.
Something the outfielders have to remember here on a base hit as time is called out in the field. A base hit to the outfield, Jim, you need to let the run score. It's only the 5th run of the game, and you must keep the hitter from advancing to second base. If you throw to the plate, you may or may not get the runner, but you'll more than likely allow the hitter to get to second, and that would be putting the tying run in scoring position. So whether it's an infield hit or a hit to the outfield, you have to let the run score.
A ball and a strike to Maggie Mitchell facing her mound opponent, Rodell Jones. Jones looking for the win in relief. He's ready, she's ready. The 1-1 swung on, a high bouncer up the middle for a base hit. The runner at second, Petelle, had to hold up. Now there's a throw to third, and it was close as Grant got it in quickly. but sliding in safely was Brian Petelle. And now there's runners at the corners. Mitchell at first, Petelle at third with only one down.
And Jim, even that's a dangerous play by Omar Grant, because if that throw scoots loose at all, then Maggie Mitchell can advance down to second base, and again you'll have the tying run in scoring position. Really a dangerous throw considering the circumstances by Omar Grant in center field.
Now Pat Daulphin is back into the ball game. He was supplanted by Wolf, both at bat and in the field, but now Daulphin will come back into the game and bat here in the 6th inning with one down and runners at the corners. Maggie Mitchell, the big run for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, standing at first. She represents the tying run.
Just like the Jaycees got some clutch 2-out hitting in the bottom of the 3rd to come up, not only to catch up, but to take the lead. So are the American League team of Bradley-Bourbonnais getting some clutch hitting here in the top of the 6th inning.
Jones is ready. The infield coming in hard at the corners. Ball one. They're throwing through to second. It gets into center field. The runner scores from third, Petelle. It's 6-5, and the tying run, Maggie Mitchell on second base with the stolen base. What a bold play by Bradley-Bourbonnais American League.
A big gamble that should not have worked. It should not have worked, but an error on the catcher. They had Maggie Mitchell dead to right field, and an error on the catcher goes sailing into center field. The run scores and a tying run in scoring position.
A bold move by Bradley-Bourbonnais American. The Jaycees knew what they wanted to do, and that was throw through and get the out. They threw through, but they did not get the out. 1-0 the count to Daulphin. Jones winds and delivers, swung on for strike one. The count even, a ball and a strike. Mitchell teases him at second, but gets back into second base. She doesn't want to get picked off because she represents the tying run with one out. Last inning, folks. We're in the top of the 6th. On the 1-1, Rodell Jones rocks, winds, delivers, called strike.
Well, you have a decision to make here if this batter gets the base hit. On a hit, you'd only have one out. Do you bring Maggie Mitchell no matter what, or with one out, do you hold it?
I'm glad they're deciding. The 1-2, called strike three. Big pitch by Rodell Jones, and Daulphin could not pull the trigger. And Wes Andrews will be the last hope for Bradley-Bourbonnais American League in this District 18 Little League Tournament.
Nothing tricky about the pitch by Rodell Jones, Jim. It was like a giant billboard right on Main Street. It was right there.
So the Jaycees lead it 6-5. Goodman flew out to right to start the inning. Petelle reached second base on a single, who stands in. 2 outs. The first pitch is a ball, ball one. Mitchell at second base. She represents the tying run, but with 2 down, the Jaycees looking to take the District 18 Little League title.
I would rather face Mancuso if I'm Jones than Wes Andrews, even though...
The next pitch to Andrews. A chopper up the middle for a base hit. It's into center field. Grant comes up with it, fires a strike to the plate. They held Mitchell at third, and probably a good thing because the throw was there.
Jim, hindsight says it was a perfect coaching decision to hold Maggie Mitchell at third. But I could not have done it if I was the third base coach. I would have made them throw me out, and well, they probably would have. Gutsy move by the third base coach, and it turns out to be the right one.
Well, Pat Mancuso will now be the batter with the runner at first, Andrews. Now here's an interesting thing. Does he go and try to draw a throw? Here we go. 6-5. He may go. Here's the first pitch to Mancuso up high. Jumping off the bag at first. Andrews goes right back. They don't even look at him. He could go to second if he wanted to. He would represent the lead run then.
Mancuso has been on base all 3 times, but all via the walk route.
6-5. The Jaycees on top. Bradley-Bourbonnais American down to their final out. The next pitch off the mark for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Jones has to come into the batter sometime here. Andrews at first.
He wants to go. He looked at a dugout but didn't get the sign he wanted.
The tying run, Mitchell at third. Here's the 2-0 from Jones. Off the mark outside for ball 3.
Jones has to worry about overthrowing here with a 3-0 count. He doesn't want to overthrow and let one get loose and go to the screen. Even though it'd be hard to score on a pass ball, but if it kicks down the line, that's something different.
A 3-0 called, strike one. Boy, that was a tough pitch to get in there for Jones, but he did it. Now he has to do it again, and Mancuso might be swinging. 3 balls and a strike. Runners at the corners for BB American. They trail by 1 in the final inning, 6-5 with 2 down. Here's the 3-1 up high, ball 4. The bases are jammed. Eric Perkins, now the batter.
Mancuso just walked for the 4th time.
Perkins struck out his last time, reached on a fielder's choice after he bunted back in the 3rd, and reached on a walk, was stranded at 3rd back in that 1st inning for Bradley-Bourbonnais American.
Well, you got an easy force at any base.
Something's got to give. 2 outs, the bases jammed, 6-5 ball game. Top of the 6th and final inning. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled hard over the right field fence.
Good aggressive hitting by Eric Perkins. He went right after that thing. He wasn't going to wait for Rodell Jones to make a mistake. He took the initiative and went right after that first pitch.
Maggie Mitchell calls time and tying her shoes at 3rd and making sure you don't want to trip on a shoelace when you're trying to score the tying run.
If I'm Rodell Jones, I think I'd bend one here.
Here comes the 0-1 from Jones. It's on its way. A fastball in the dirt. Nice stop by Smith. Although I doubt that Mitchell will come in from 3rd unless it's really up the line. Bounces away off the screen. A ball and a strike to Perkins. Here's the 1-1. Swung on. Hit up the middle. The second baseman has it. He'll come to first. High throw, but he comes down with it at first. The ball game is over. The Kankakee Jaycees have won the game. A bit of a protest at first. They thought he was pulled off the bag, but Butler
a good call.
Never left the bag.
It was a good call by the umpire. It was a high throw, but it was a good call. The foot never left the bag.
He jumped as though he was going to leave the bag, but he did not. His foot never left the bag, and the Kankakee Jaycees have won 6-5, and they've won the District 18 Little League Tournament. What a terrific ball game, and what a terrific tournament this has been. We've seen some great competitive games. This, of course, has to be the best. A 1-run ball game in the championship game. Mike Fry, assistant coach, and Kathy Wade, the manager, celebrate with their team as the Kankakee Jaycees are District 18 Little League champions. We'll wrap this one up with some post-game comments after this 2-minute timeout on AM 1320.
Sell it, don't count it. That's what Elmer is saying at Bussey and Reek Flowers and Gifts for their pre-inventory sale. Right now at Bussey's, you can save 20% or more on all regularly priced non-perishable gift and decorator merchandise in both their stores. This sale is on everything except antiques and collector's items and will last 3 weeks. Cash and carry only at Bussey and Reek Flowers and Gifts pre-inventory sale, 2100 East Maple in Kankakee and 515 South Main Street in Bourbonnais. Bussey and Reek is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6, Saturday, 8:30 till 5, and Sunday, 10 to 5. Visa, MasterCard, Diners Card, American Express, and Discover cards are all welcome. Just phone 933-2295 for Bussey and Reek and ask about their personal shopper service, too. The pre-inventory sale ends July 28th at Bussey and Reek.
Bussey and Reek, of course. When it comes to your business, consider the best. McGrath-Whalen Office Equipment for office furniture, supplies, and machines. McGrath-Whalen Office Equipment.
If you're looking for an inexpensive, high-quality fax machine, McGrath-Whalen Office Equipment has just what you need. The Canon Fax 245 is a compact yet heavy-duty fax loaded with features that you'd expect to find on much larger machines. With its 15-page document feeder, automatic cutter, and 14-page memory, the Canon Fax 245 is ready to meet the demands of your business. And with Canon's exclusive imaging technology, you're assured the best-looking documents with each reception. Now you can put the Canon Fax 245 to work for you for $45 a month. Call for details on this limited offer. McGrath-Whalen Office Equipment, 148 North Kinsey in Bradley.
McGrath-Whalen, everything for the office.
Well, the Kankakee Jaycees have done it. They have gone through the District 18 Little League Tournament undefeated, and that includes tonight's 6-5 victory over Bradley-Bourbonnais American League. They started off the tournament, the Jaycees did, by beating Watseka 17-0. Then they came on to take care of Limestone 6-5. They beat Bradley-Bourbonnais American 2-0. And then, of course, tonight's ball game, 6-5, the winner there. The game ended with the bases loaded and a bit of a controversial call at first base, just from the standpoint of Bradley-Bourbonnais American's argument that the throw from second baseman Sean Sullivan brought Cameron Butler off the base. But our vantage point is from above the first base dugout, and we're looking right down on the bag, and both Jim and I, there's no doubt in either one of our minds that Butler never did come off the bag. He rose up with his body to make the high catch of the high throw from Sean Sullivan, but at no time did his foot leave the bag, and it was a good call by the umpire. He was right on top of the play, and there was really no reason to protest other than out of frustration, as it was a good call that ended the ball game.
What made it so deceiving for Bradley-Bourbonnais fans, and one thing, they wanted to see him leave the bag. The other was, as you described, he was ready to leap and made the leaping motion as though he was going in the air, did not have to, and when he did not have to, he did not leave the bag.
But where fans follow the progress up with the body, umpires are taught to watch the feet, and it was a good call.
And Randy Lamb, the first base umpire, was right where he should be and made a good call.
For the winning Jaycees, they score 6 runs. They had 9 hits. They leave 5 stranded. They committed 2 errors. Both of those, by the way, came in the 6th inning. And Rodell Jones is the winning pitcher in relief of James Jackson, the starter. For the losing Bradley-Bourbonnais American squad, BB American has 5 runs. On 6 hits, they strand 11, including 3 in the last inning. They committed 1 error, and Maggie Mitchell, who went the distance, goes down as a losing pitcher. Mitchell was coasting along until the bottom of the 3rd inning, and with 2 outs, she surrendered a walk to Matt Peters, a base hit to Tom Kilbride, a double to Rodell Jones, and a base hit to Cameron Butler. All of that happened with 2 outs, and of course the important walk with 2 outs to Matt Peters prolonged the inning, and that spelled doom for Bradley-Bourbonnais American, and they were not able to come back and overcome what was a 6-4 lead at that time. Again, a great job done by the Kankakee Lions in putting on this tournament. And Carol Meredith and company are out presenting the pins to the championship team. And we have said before, Jim, we have covered this tournament or this level of baseball on all different levels, including the state tournament. And they don't do a finer job anywhere than what they do locally in District 18. And these folks have done a great job.
They certainly have, and we appreciate their efforts. We'd like to thank just some of the people. We didn't get all the names of all the board members out here, but Pam Rainbolt is the president, Nancy Ostrowski, vice president, and also a vice president, Rick Vadbunker. Just some of the folks. We thank them for their hospitality. They kept us well fed as if we need it. But we appreciate that and all their help, and they did a fine job. They are to be congratulated as they represented District 18 as well as could be expected. Well, WKAN Kankakee's coverage of Little League Baseball continues with the Section 5 tournament in Ottawa. The District 18 winner, the Jaycees, will take on either Ottawa National or American. Those were the 2 teams remaining over there. Saturday evening at 5 o'clock, and we'll bring that game to you on WKAN as we continue our coverage of the Little League postseason on WKAN. But for now, that'll do it from District 18. The champions, the Kankakee Jaycees. Congratulations to manager Kathy Wade, Coach Mike Fry, and all the players and personnel of the Kankakee Jaycees Little League. They have become champions for the first time since 1983 and will represent our area at the Section 5 tournament. Thank you for being with us during Section 5. During District 18, and we'll see you during Section 5. For Gary Griffin, I'm Jim Brandt. Rob West has been our engineer tonight. So long, everybody, and thanks for tuning us in.
You're on the go and need good food to go with you. That's why you eat at Skolnick's Bagel Bakery Restaurant. Skolnick serves up food that's delicious, nutritious, and ready to go when you are. Just call ahead and have your order ready when you get there. You can be assured that Skolnick's is good for you. Bagels are high in protein and low in sodium and fat. Skolnick's Bagel Bakery Restaurant, your next stop when planning your summer outings. Skolnick's in the Northfield Square Mall.
Just as athletes have special skills, so do the dedicated personnel of Consumers Illinois Water Company. Their experience assures you of clear, safe water. The average home in this area uses 150 gallons of water per day. For less than 40 cents, Consumers Illinois Water Company will take 150 gallons of river water, soften it and purify it, add a little fluoride, and deliver it to your home at any time. Consumers Illinois Water Company, serving this area for nearly 100 years.
It's 4 minutes past 9 o'clock. There you have it, the District 18 Little League champions for this year, the Kankakee Jaycees, as they beat the Bradley-Bourbonnais American team 6-5 tonight. They move on to Section 5 tournament action Saturday evening. You can hear all the action here on 1320.
Treat yourself right. Treat yourself to a Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen has your favorite sundaes in a helmet of your favorite Major League Baseball team for only 99 cents. Why not stop in before or after the game with the kids and really enjoy yourself? They deserve it, and so do you. Dairy Queen on South Main Street in Bourbonnais, or East Maple or West Station Streets in Kankakee. Dairy Queen yourself today.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right. WKAN.